Chapter 28 of Just for Juniors, Little Talks to Little Folks by Rev. Gerald T. Brennan. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Maria Therese. Chapter 28 The Two Frogs. Butch and Greenie were two frogs that lived together in a large pool. Butch was the older frog, and Greenie was the younger. Now, Butch and Greenie were very good friends, and they had lots of fun in their lovely pool. They splashed in the cool water, chased each other, and played games. Sometimes they climbed on the rocks at the edge of the pool. Then, again, they hopped on the lily pads and enjoyed a rest in the warm sun. When children visited the pool, Butch and Greenie croaked their songs and tried to amuse their little friends. Yes, Butch and Greenie enjoyed life, and they were very happy. I said that the two frogs were happy. Yes, for a time they were very happy. Then, one day, Butch had an idea. "Let's leave the pool and go up and visit the farm," he urged the younger frog. Little Greenie didn't like the idea. He was afraid. "Suppose we get into trouble?" he asked. Butch laughed at the foolish question. "Oh, we won't get into any trouble," he promised. "Come on, let's go." Well, the two frogs hopped out of the water and started for the farm. Butch led the way through the tall wet grass, and Greenie hopped along after him. Now and then the frogs stopped to rest, and after a long time they finally reached the barn. They looked through the door and they saw many strange things. Now, Butch and Greenie had never seen a barn. Of course, they were curious. They wanted to see everything. So they hopped around, looked at everything, and no one disturbed them. "Gee, I'm thirsty," said Greenie after a little while. "Where can we get a drink?" Butch saw a large tub in the corner of the barn. He thought that there might be water in the tub. So he hopped up on a board and looked into the tub. The tub was empty. There was no water. Butch was disappointed, and so was his friend. The two frogs then hopped across the floor in search of water. I might just as well tell you that the frogs found no water, but they did find a pail, and next to the pail was a small wooden box. The two frogs hopped up on the box and looked into the pail. What a surprise! "Why, that's cream in the pail," said Butch to his friend. "We're going to have a party." Butch hopped into the pail of cream and Greenie followed him. For a few moments the frogs did have a party, and they liked the cream. Then they swam and splashed and had lots of fun. When the fun was over, however, Butch and Greenie found that the sides of the pail were steep and slippery. They tried and tried to climb out of the pail, but each time they tried, the two frogs fell deep into the rich cream. For some time Butch and Greenie swam in the cream. Many times they tried to climb out of the pail, but each time they failed. Finally, tired and weak, little Greenie could stand it no longer. "I give up!" he cried as he sank to the bottom of the pail and was drowned. Butch, however, didn't give up. He fought hard and swam and splashed. And what do you think? All of a sudden Butch found himself sitting on a large lump of butter. For some time he sat there on the butter and rested. Then he hopped with all his might and, sure enough, Butch hopped right out of the pail. He lost no time getting back to his home in the pond. Butch was safe because he refused to give up. Has this story a lesson? I think it has. You know, we are all trying to get to heaven, and we have to work for heaven every day. Too many boys and girls, however, act just like Greenie. When things go wrong and they fall into sin, they throw up their hands and cry out, "I give up!" That's where they make a mistake. What they should do is go to confession and start working again. The boy or girl who works for heaven every day will certainly be saved. I like boys and girls who act like Butch. When temptations come, they fight hard and never give up. They keep away from persons, places, and things that will lead them into sin. If they do slip and fall into sin, they pick themselves up and go to confession. They pray every day. They receive Holy Communion often. These boys and girls are working hard to save their souls. They never quit. They never give up. Children, you can't take it easy and expect to save your soul. You must work hard for heaven, and you must never quit. Keep saying your prayers, go to Mass and receive the sacraments often. If you do these things, you will never be sorry, and you'll save your soul. Don't be like Greenie. Don't give up. Don't be a quitter. End of chapter 28. End of Just for Juniors, Little Talks to Little Folks by Reverend Gerald T. Brennan.